Hoobity hoo and how do you do? You're watching Camie Cam Comics.
Hoobity hoo and how do you do? Happy whatever day of the week this is to you. So, who am I? I'm Camie of Camie Cam Comics, and I create comics. And I, as a comic book creator, an indie comic book creator, just went to career day for the second time in a row, third time career day. Because when you have multiple kids, then you go to multiple schools. But I want to tell you all about my experiences of going to career day. And also why you, an indie comic book creator, should go to career day too. Starting off, it was an amazing event. It was exciting. It was a little anxiety inducing. There were some nerves. There were some big feelings that I didn't know how to process or manage, but we got through it and we had a great time. So I would say, hey, go to career day. Now let's do the breakdown. Okay. I had to do a camera adjustment. It was feeling off. So yeah, career day. I was extremely nervous. I don't know why. I think it's just because they're Gen Alpha and I'm afraid. But I am raising a Gen Alpha. My son's a hybrid. Okay. He's raised by real millennials and not like the weird scary ones, but like the you fell down. I don't know. I think it has influence that I was raised, but that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is I was nervous. Like, do I eat? Do I not eat? What if I'm late? What goes wrong? What if they miss the bus? What if the bus is late? How am I going to make it on time? What if I'm late to the school was my biggest fear and concern. I mean, I woke up early. I didn't have all my stuff printed. I was nervous. I ended up doing some minor things there. But by the time I got there, I had the things that matter. Myself and my books. Now, previous year, I was set up in, like, as soon as you walk in the door, on the first table you see. I don't know who thought of that, but thank you for not doing that this year. I'm across the gymnasium, okay? Unfortunately, I was beside this entrepreneur who dealt with, like, fish and stuff, so I got to smell all the sea life. I mean, we are in Maryland, so somebody got to be there telling the kids about the fishes, and that's cool. But yeah, so ultimately it was a great time. And I was across from the classroom. And get this, gymnasium, not classroom. I ended up making these giant poster boards. Insert picture here. And this one. And I made those last year. And as I was about to walk out the door, because my lift ride was early, thank you. Everybody had a poster board this year except for me. It was nuts. It was very confusing. It was a little bit like, y'all biting? Did I inspire? Did I start something? And so in the event that I do it again, not if, but when I do it again, I'm bringing my poster boards. I'm bringing them. I'm even bringing them to the elementary school when you walk around to the classroom, and I'm gonna show them my poster boards. I'm gonna make better poster boards. We're going glitter, markers, everything. And yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be amazing. So that was that. And setup was great. I had nice little continental breakfast. You could have a bagel, a little orange, a little granola bar, some donuts, somebody's coffee. But you know us, we team espresso. So I had that triple double, and I was good to go. And it was a great time. And maybe I'm a little hyped because I just had some evening coffee, but it's not nighttime coffee because it's not dark outside yet. So we'll do with that information what you will. That is my logic. If it's not dark, it's not nighttime coffee. Anywho, yeah, so setup was great. And then the actual event happened. The first students walked in and I'm sitting over there. And I'm like, I feel like I didn't have enough stuff. I feel like I didn't have giveaways. I felt like I didn't have things that represented me. I had the guided journal on the table. I had Snack Time the Picnic on the table. And I had the zines I made, video coming up soon about how to make your own zines, especially if you are interested in getting into comics and you feel like a book might be too much. Maybe you want to start with zines. So check out that video. Maybe I'll put the photo of it here, but check it out in a couple of days. It'll be ready and available for you. What else did I have? So I had journal, stack time, zines, And then I gave away my stickers. So see, I've been designing stickers for a while, right? And I thought, okay, if I design enough stickers, then I can sell the stickers and people can get it. And you can still get stickers. I have bundles, themed bundles for $5, and then individual stickers are like $1. But I try to do a theme bundle, so that way you're getting more than just one set of stickers, which usually, it's a whole nother thing, but that's another story for another time. So I was at the table cutting. I'm like, oh my gosh, here they come. Here they come. So I had Jolly Ranchers. Jolly Ranchers are important because do you know that kids will do anything for a piece of candy? I mean, they came to me like middle schoolers to candy, and kids love candy. Unfortunately, I have a son who don't like fruit candy, but it was his idea to bring the Jolly Ranchers. And I'm really happy for him, and I'm thankful that he told me that, because I feel like it may have not been as engaging as it was. There were a lot of kids and they were like coming back like, oh, I dropped mine. Oh, I dropped it. So if you do career day, have a little sweet treat for the kids. I felt like I was about to run out. So as I'm handing out Jolly Ranchers to kids who like comics or don't like comics, because they're all kids at the end of the day, whether they came to learn about comics or not, have some candy. Here you go. Take one, take two. But then there were kids who were like, I'm not just here for candy. I'm here to learn about comics. And that was the main thing. We're not here to talk about, you want free candy? Free candy? Here's a strange lady giving you candy. No, we talked about the joys of making comics. And what is that all about? And what does that mean to you as a middle schooler or a young person of why we making comics? Why would I want to do this? This doesn't make sense to me. But that was the focal point. And how it ended, it was great. I saw my kid and I love that because I didn't get to see him last year. So I'm like, yay. And I did. So what I ended up doing, right, is like they did it in like groups or like waves, like class periods. So like first class period, Jolly Ranchers on the table. Second class period, Jolly Ranchers too popular, put them away. Let's see if my authentic presence is enough. My authentic presence is more than enough. Okay, those kids were like, oh, you look interesting. What's going on? Of course, you know me, big old afro, books on the table, a little color, not as elaborate as I wanted to be, but I got you next time. Oh, we going out. We are going to make this presentation present. Okay, spectacular. All right, and so they really did. They genuinely came. They had questions and it was amazing. And I don't want to take all this candy home because first of all, Camie don't like candy. I don't. I know I say my son's strange for doing it because he's a kid, but I'm an adult. I don't like candy. Cavities. I'm too big, too old to be getting cavities from nothing that doesn't even sustain you. You know there are only 45 calories in 2 Jolly Ranchers. I learned that because a child asked. But other than that, I'm not about to eat something. I mean, they taste great, but that taste don't last long, and the apple don't taste like apple, and the grape don't taste like grape. You feel me? And what the heck is a blue raspberry anyways? So yeah, I put the candy away. Second round, they genuinely came. I'm like, okay, I got to get rid of this candy. Period 3, candy back on the table. It was really nice because they did have a catered lunch, and the lunch was really cool. They had different sandwiches, same sandwiches they had last time. Last time I got the grilled chicken. I don't know, like, all this don't matter, but I want to tell you anyways. Last time I got the grilled chicken and it was dry, and I put the mayonnaise and I put the mustard, and they only gave me the 1 pack of mayonnaise and the 1 pack of mustard. Not I went with the tuna fish, and it was legit. Now that is a little more fish than what I'm used to eating, but it was straight. They had a Macintosh apple. Ugh. I don't like those. And a delicious cookie. And then they had juices and waters. It was a very nice lunch. So whoever did the catering, like, shout out to you. Thank you for sponsoring that event, making it like, I don't know what you're going to do for food. It was nice. It was really nice. And then we went back into that last period of class. And it was cool because some kids, they had like 2 classes that went back to back. So there were some kids who were like, I just saw you and you came back, and they would just stop by and say hi. And I'm just like, you didn't have to say hi. You didn't have to come and talk to me, a person you may never see again, but they did. And the event was amazing. And I recommend that if you are any type of creative, find a school that is hosting a career day and show up. show the kids who you are, and show that creative careers matter, because that's not the main point, but it is the main point. Because oftentimes as creatives, we get told like, broke artist mentality. And we're definitely changing that narrative by making comics, by making stickers, having stuff available to show that like, this is what I can do with my talent. And it may take longer than that, but that's a story for later on. So it was an amazing time of just being in that space, engaging with people who are genuinely, and I call them people, they are kids, but these young people are genuinely interested in making comics, learning the process and everything. And they had questions. And I had about three main questions I kept getting asked. And I think the first one was, how long does it take to make a comic book? Now with zine, I did that in a day. One day. Sketched it out, folded it up. This is me folding it. Done in a day. Because the art is simple. I didn't have a lot of details. It was just drawing it in pencil. My process. Pencil. Ink. Print. That was it. Used some white plain paper. My biggest struggle with the zine was formatting, but I think that's because I used the wrong size paper to do my formatting. I used like a 8.5 by 5 and I printed on 8.5 by 11. So my margins was off, but it still folded. It still looked nice. And I gave a bunch of them away to kids. I'm like, oh, you can have this. And in the zine, which I will show you during our zine making video, what I made it about. I made it about some of like the questions I remembered from last year and tips and things that I found important to making comics. And again, it was really nice to just have that to share and give kids like, hey, this comic I can give away for free. Other freebies I did a group coloring photo, insert here, of 4 of my own personalized made coloring sheets that you can get for free on Ko-fi. And I'll probably do a new set like every month. That's what I'm thinking of doing, but that's another conversation for another time. Just trying to build up the Ko-fi presence. So, hey, I got stuff. You want stuff? Here you go. Boom, boom, boom. I had that, the zine, and I made the business cards. I made my own business cards. Now, yes, eventually I will print business cards. I'll be professional. But for the sake of that day, I used cardstock that I had that I'm supposed to be reserving for like doing art prints and commissions. And I printed them off and I cut them out. And I'm like, you don't want a zine? Here's the business card. Because those kids can scan that QR code, see my link tree, and see all of my stuff. And maybe you're watching this video. And if you are, hey, shout out to you. Thanks for stopping by. And yeah, so that is amazing. And if not, guess what? They can buy my books and future merch. Another video for another time. So it was a great event. I had the freebies. Back to the questions. So, zine, done in a day. Now, I'm not making a zine. I want to make a bigger book. Snack Time was already an established webcomic. So, majority of the story was just copy pasting panels into webtoon frames. I'm going to call them frames into comic book panels. And that was done. There was I have some few grammar errors in the book, but this is before I knew the importance of getting an editor. Where am I looking? Right here? Right there? Yes, here. Get an editor. Okay. Eventually I'll get the big fancy DSLR camera and it'll be like more like, I'm looking at you, but for right now, I'm not. I'm looking at me because that's how we do these things here. T-Face. So, Snack Time took about a couple of months. The process was long because of lack of self-confidence. But it was honestly, if I make a Snack Time 2, if I don't change anything to it and just like copy and paste again, I could be done in a couple of months. That's how fast it is. Because everything's already established. All the hard work's already been done. But we're not doing that. We know better, so we do better. Now, long story. Took a long time. Pug and Cat. I didn't share with the kids of like why Pug and Cat has taken me over a year to create. But I did tell them that it took a long time. And I want to say the number one thing with Pug and Cat was writing confidence. It takes a long time. I got an editor. I changed the art style like 3-4 times. Well, 3 times. And Variant 1, design characters. Variant 2, design characters. And variant 3, the final design of fucking cat. Okay. Next up, I went with, I know, gosh, this video was long, so I might have to do part 2, or do you want me to keep going? Blink once for keep going. I saw you blinking. Okay. So I'll try to make this quick. The next set of questions I got was, why? Why do you make comics? And to check my notes. But why do I make comics? Why do I make comics relates to how I got started, which is another question I got asked a lot. I got started because I love cartoons, manga, and anime. Okay? I'm a blurty, nerdy girly forever and ever. Amen. I'm so nerdy. In fact, I got my husband watching anime now, and he'll find an anime like, oh, you ain't seen this one, babe. And I'm like, oh, you're right, I haven't. And then I watch it. I'm like, I could have picked better. But no, I kid. But those type of things and reading manga and reading comics really pulled me into like, let me just try. Like, I can make my own story. I'm that type of ambition person where like, if I see something, I'm gonna try to do it. I'm gonna try to do it myself. And so what ended up happening, I wrote a comic in high school, and the comic is about me and all the friends I made during my freshman year of high school. And it was in this yellow binder. I don't know where that binder is to this day. I wish I had it so I could share and show people, hey, start now, start today, because you could be here just like me. It was pretty cool. It was amazing to see that the book, that was where I started. Sharing this notebook, and in middle school, I would write stories. Same thing, no pictures, write the story separate on a purple or spiral notebook, pass it around to my friends, and then I'd write the next chapter and pass it around to my friends. And I did the same exact thing, but with a comic book. And so I started because I loved it. And when we talk about, other things or other influences, and I think that's where I might be getting along with it, it's like, I don't draw manga and anime. I could, but I don't because I love cartoons more. Favorite cartoon, all time, hands down. I can't do just one. Top 5. Top 5. I love Chuck Jones's Tom and Jerry. I love the bold colors and a simplistic art style. It pops off the page. I love the heavily influence of how more of the jazz music tells the story. Okay. Then I love Looney Tunes. I feel like Looney Tunes is funny. If you cut on Looney Tunes right now in my big age of 34, I will laugh. I will hee and haw hard. Okay. Those my favorite classics. I love Adventure Time. I love that Adventure Time starts light and airy, and then we get into more serious and challenging themes and things that really matter. So I love the art of the story, the arc of the storytelling. It's just a fun kid with adventures, and then then you get Distant Lands, and it's all these different stories, and I just love that universe, that world. And I could list 101 cartoons, so I'll only give you 2 more. I like Star and versus the Forces of Evil. I like Owl House. I like the one, oh my gosh, Craig of the Creek. I can't believe I almost forgot that one. I love Craig of the Creek, okay? Craig of the Creek, Steven Universe. Again, I'm not here to list 101 cartoons that I still watch. Oh, DuckTales. Okay, that's enough. Stop. Yeah, so I really love cartoons, and I love how all of those shows can have they're cartoons, but they have more stories. You see where I'm going here? It's not just, we're fun kids having fun. No, we wrote real issues, real problems, real life. It's told through the lens of a cartoon. And I love that. And so that influences me the most today with making comics. What was the question again? I think I answered them both. How long ago did I start? High school. And why do I love doing it? I love the art of storytelling. I love taking pictures and telling stories. I tried doing just the words, but the visuals of the typing and the writing, they just get so strong. I gotta draw it. The visuals get so strong. I gotta draw it too. And that's where I am now, comic book artist. Ooh, we got the next one. The next question. What kind of education do you need? Let me tell you something. I have not finished the college degree. Now, eventually, I will. For reasons in another video in another time. We might have to do a Patreon for that. Oh, we don't have a Patreon yet. I have one and I don't have it. But focus. I need like a clicker. Like a thing to help me focus. Or like a timer, like, hey, okay, you going on a tangent, pull it back in. Ooh, because the video is getting long. So, right quick. Education. Let's make a part 2. Let's stop here. Come back the next day for part 2 on our final questions and final thoughts. I want to end it. I don't want to drag on too long. Pug and Cat Kickstarter is doing amazing. We are even over 60% funded now. So thank you all for liking, sharing, commenting, just being a part of my comic book making journey, because if this comic gets funded, we can keep making more comics. So I hope you have the most amazing day. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. Kisses, kisses, kisses. Stay tuned. Stay blessed. Love you always. Bye.